Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskrityam Naram Chaiva Narottamam Daivim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayamudirayet Nashtaprayeshu Abhadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavati Ruttama Shloke Bhaktir Bhavati Naishtiki. 5.13.9 Kvachin Najirno Ajagarahina Jano Na Vaiti Kinchit Vipine Apaviddha Dashtah Smashete Kvachadanda Shukai Ando Andakupe Patitastamistre. I'll chant that once more. Kvachin Najirno Ajagarahina Jano Na Vaiti Kinchit Vipine Apaviddha Dashtah Smashete Kvachadanda Shukai Andho Andhakupe Patitastamisre. Kvachin Nijirno Ajagarahina Jano Na Vaiti Kinchit Vipine Apaviddha Dashtah Smashete Kvachadanda Shukai Andho Andhakupe Patitastamishre. Kvachit, sometimes. Nijirnaha, being swallowed. Ajagara Ahina, by the great snake known as the python. Janaha, the conditioned souls. Na, not. Avaiti, understands. Kinchit, anything. Vipine, in the forest. Apaviddaha, pierced by arrows of suffering. Dashtaha, being bitten. Sma, indeed. Shete, lies down. Kvacha, sometimes. Danda shukai, by other kinds of snakes. Andaha, blind. Andakupe, in a blind well. Patitaha, fallen. Tamisre, in a hellish condition of life. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhakti Vedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki. Translation: the conditioned soul in the material forest is sometimes swallowed by a python or crushed. At such a time, he is left lying in the forest like a dead person, devoid of consciousness and knowledge. Sometimes other poisonous snakes bite him. Being blind to his consciousness, he falls down into a dark well of hellish life with no hope of being rescued. Purport: when one becomes unconscious due to being bitten by a snake, one cannot understand what is taking place outside the body. This unconscious condition is the condition of deep sleep. Similarly, the conditioned soul is actually sleeping in the lap of illusory energy. Bhakti Vinoda Thakura has sung, Kota Nidra Jao Maya Prishachira Kole. A living entity. O living entity, how long will you sleep in this condition on the lap of the illusory energy? People do not understand that they are actually sleeping in this material world, being devoid of knowledge of spiritual life. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu therefore says, Yene chiyaushadhi maya nashi baralagi harinama mahamantra lau tumi magi. I have brought medicine to awaken every living being from perpetual sleep. Please receive the holy name of the Lord, the Hare Krishna Mahamantra, and awaken. The Kathopanishad also says, Utteshta Jagrata Prapyavaran Nibodhata. O living entity, you are sleeping in this material world. Please wake up, please get up and take advantage of your human form of life. The sleeping condition means loss of all knowledge. In Bhagavad Gita, it is also said, Ya Nisha Sarva Bhutanam Tasyam Jagrati Samyami. What is night for all beings is the time of awakening for the self-controlled. Even in the higher planets, everyone is under the spell of illusory energy. No one is really interested in the real values of life. The sleeping condition called Kala Sarpa, the time factor, keeps the conditioned soul in a state of ignorance. And therefore, pure consciousness is lost. In the forest, there are many blind wells. And if one falls down in one, there is no chance of being rescued. In a state of sleep, one remains perpetually bitten by some animals, especially snakes. Umagyanatimirandasya Gyananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmayi Shri Gurave Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kada Mahyam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guruho Shri Yuta Padakamalam Shri Gurum Vaishnavamsya Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunatanavitam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Sakitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakan Vitamsha Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prashtaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swaminiti Namine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvisesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine Jayasi Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Om Tat Sat, Hare Krishna. So, Kvachin Najirno Ajagara Hina Jano Navaiti Kinchit Vipine Apaviddaha Dashtah Smashete Kvachadhanda Shukair Andho Andakope Patitastamishre. The conditioned soul in the material forest is sometimes swallowed by a python or crushed. At such a time, he is left lying in the forest like a dead person, devoid of consciousness and knowledge. Sometimes other poisonous snakes bite him. Being blind to his consciousness, he falls down into a dark well of hellish life with no hope of being rescued. So, this is a very graphic description, like we discussed yesterday, of the conditioned soul in the material world and the different type of things that happen to him. How he is prakriti sthani karshati, roasted and toasted and in total forgiveness, does all sorts of crazy things. In fact, Pishachi Paile, it is mentioned that he is haunted by a ghost. He does not know what he is doing. He is not himself at all. In other words, he is not awake to his real identity. He is not awakened in his real identity. In his real identity, he is sleeping. That's what is said. He has been swallowed by a python. Python is a very huge snake which swallows its prey. It simply catches hold, squeezes it, and then when it breaks up, it just swallows it and digests it. So anybody who gets caught by a python has got no chance of escaping. Of course, today if you say Python, they'll say it is another form of software and operating this thing or whatever. People learn Python. It's a nice name that you can get illusioned in a different way. You can be in a software called Python because you're bitten by the python. So what does it really mean here? We have various levels of sleep. The very gross level is liking to sleep, means actually putting your body to sleep, right? Actually putting your body to sleep. What happens when you sleep? That's what is being mentioned here. You become forgetful of the entire external atmosphere. You go into a deep slumber. You forget your external situation. You don't know where you are. what time it is. You enter another world in which you may dream. You may even be dreaming in that world. So you become totally lost to your real identity in this material world as they know you. You don't know where you are, you're gone to sleep. It is one form of deep forgetfulness. Another thing is when you get intoxicated, you can like partially forget. The living entity likes that because it is tamoguna. Intoxication also is a cousin brother of sleep. Partial feeling. But the other sleep is what most people indulge in. Every night we go to sleep. If you don't have good sleep, many things cannot be done. Your memory doesn't function, your intelligence won't function properly. Sleep is one of the factors of intelligence. Apprehension, misapprehension, memory, doubt, sleep. All these things are factors of intelligence. If you don't sleep properly, you won't function properly. So you need to have some amount of sleep. The amount of sleep that each person has also differs from person to person. Different people need different sleep. Prabhupada told a reporter that here is a reporter saying, but you sleep in the afternoons. Prabhupada, no, we have got so many books. There is class. We have got, show him the books. Reporter, but you sleep in the afternoon, do you? I am told you've just woken up. Is that right? Prabhupada, yes, I don't sleep at night. I sleep sometime in daytime. What do you do at night then? I write books. So this is Prabhupada's conversation. Prabhupada is saying in several places, he has said that I don't sleep. I don't sleep much. So if you take in other place, he's saying, and then another stage is that it's called deep sleep, just like you're under chloroform or LSD. That is the kind of deep sleep only. It is not that you mean that you have become free from this material bondage. You're simply under some mental condition, sleeping condition, shushuptihi, just like our death. What is this death? Death means a sound sleep for 7 months. That's all, a sound sleep for 7 months. As soon as I give up this body, I enter into another body in sound sleep. And sound sleep, just like you sleeping sound, somebody is taking away to another place you do not know. So you can say various levels of sleep. Various levels. You get intoxicated, you sleep. You go to sleep every day and you need that sleep. You know, innocent sleep that knits up the raveled sleeve of care. The death of each day's life, sore labor's bath, great nature's second course, chief nourisher in life's feast. Macbeth, Shakespeare speaking about sleep. He's seeing the innocent sleep that knits up the raveled sleeve of care. Whole day you're worried about so many things. When you sleep, everything is calmed down and ironed out. The death of each day's life. Every day in the night you die. Why? You go to sleep. So Prabhupada is saying it similarly. In lifetime also you die at the end of lifetime and you sleep for 7 months and then you come out in another body. 7 months maybe you are in, I think Prabhupada means you will be in Yamaraja, tried out, Yamaloka, being tried out and put into another body and you come out. I don't know that reference exactly, but I think that's what it means. Dying is another form of sleep. But the worst sleep is the sleep of consciousness. You have lost your Krishna consciousness and you're in material consciousness. That is the sleep that is even worse, that is being spoken about. You're bitten by the python, you're bitten by material desire, and that occurs in you. And then you decide to go into material engagement, gratification. At that time, you get bitten by the python and you get swallowed by it. Not just bitten and left. You get swallowed by it. That is full consciousness completely off. You don't know who you are. That is being described here. And that is being described here. If you read, you will see there are 4 levels of your consciousness. There are 4 levels of sleep described. Jagrat, Sushupti, Swapna, Turiya. Turiya is full awakened consciousness actually. What we call Jagrat in the material world is that you are not physically sleeping. But actually here it is mentioned that you are actually spiritually sleeping. Although you are hanging around in this world, you are actually sleeping. Just like you may be sleeping and you may be dreaming. In the night, sometimes you go to sleep and you dream. But in the dream, you are very active. You're talking to people, going to places, meeting things, doing that, doing this, everything. But you have that, in the dream, you have that feeling that this may not be true. It's a dream. But you are in the dream. So it's going on. You're not fully in touch. But when you wake up, you know, wow, that was surely a dream. Right? So in the same way, even now, while you're sitting here in the class, you are actually in that dream state. Pishachi, Pile, I told you, no, you're being haunted because you've forgotten who you are, you've forgotten Krishna, you've forgotten reality. Just imagine what it means. If I'm telling you that you are actually dreaming, mostly you will not listen. So what do you mean I'm dreaming? I'm awakened and I'm hanging around. I just ate my breakfast. I came here for class. I went these things all. This is all inside the dream. What if I tell you it's all inside the dream? It's happening. Really? Let me pinch myself. Wow, I'm feeling pain. It may not be a dream. No, that is also happening within the dream. How do you understand that I'm awakened, that I'm not sleeping? So scientists, philosophers are asking about this. How you are not in a simulated world? How do you know? You're not in a simulated world, which means that you can create a simulator. A simulator is recreating a situation like, pilots and all are taught in a simulating machine. That's the inside of a cockpit, everything, and there's a tunnel of air, and then you feel inside that you're going in the flight, and all these things they reproduce. And they get you inside and they make you go to learn. Now you have whole software and all that you can actually learn. You can feel the breeze, you can feel the speed of the air and everything. So there's a simulator. You simulated the sky and the surrounding and the breeze and the atmosphere, the sunlight, everything. Or it may be nighttime with the stars and you have to land. You can simulate all these things. And it is as good as the reality. It's 99% as good as the reality. And you will never make out the person who's learning, he can get absorbed in it and he can live that. So it is possible even in the material world that you have simulators and people go and say, wow, I have gone to these rides in Disney World and this and that. They'll give you, that Oculus type of stuff and virtual reality stuff for this and that and everything, and you can be in a different world. Everything is simulated. Your sense organs, your sense actually feels breezes blowing. You start smelling things, everything. So you can understand that these things can be recreated. These things can be programmed into you. Now the neurosurgeons and the brain scientists now are going on a big trip saying that actually your mind cannot make out that your brain does not make out the difference between a simulated reality and the actual reality. You can train your mind to think that such and such a thing has happened when it has not actually happened. So you can implant memories inside somebody else and make them feel it is real. All these things are going on nowadays. Why? Because you're inside the python having bitten you. It's very dangerous to even think of these things. We like to be in, whatever it is, I don't want to talk about this. I want to be in my reality, whatever it is. But this is a deep question. How do you know that you are not inside a dream? That is why this whole Lewis Carroll's Alice in Wonderland becomes very interesting. because he goes and dips down into a rabbit hole, and then another universe opens up to him. All sorts of strange beings and all sorts of nice friends and this person, that person. Lots of things happen to him in a parallel world. Now, of course, you're talking about multiverses, universe, multiverse, and there are other universes, and we are living in one way particular. All this is true. So pinch yourself and ask, are you really awake? Are you inside a dream? At no point of time can you actually tell, yes, I am inside a dream, or no, I'm not. Why? Because you're not in touch with reality. You're not in touch with yourself. That's the point. So, this sleep that is mentioned here, I just don't want to speak about it in terms of ordinary sleep. Although Prabhupada has mentioned here throughout about Yenechi Aushadhi Maya Nasi Bharo Lagi Harinama Mahamantra Lao Tumi Magi. Prabhupada says, will wake you up from your sleep. You're sleeping. You don't understand that your spirit soul part and parcel of Krishna, and you don't live that reality, which is the real reality. This is the false reality because you've been bitten by the python. So in this forest of enjoyment, it speaks about so many souls eaten by the python, hanging around without knowing who you are, what you are. Orphans actually, suffering a lot because of losing touch with the reality. This is the meaning of ayogi. Ayogi means one who has disconnected with himself, with the Supreme Lord, and with reality. You may be in a world that is not real, and all the thoughts, all the things that you're getting is nothing to do really with you. This is what in the Bhagavatam it says. That is why the Bhagavatam is composed by Vyasadeva for them. Because the sufferings and enjoyments of the living entity are external to him. The word is used, right? They're external to him. Chakre Satvata Samhita. Therefore, Vyasadeva composes for these people who are out of touch with reality. The Bhagavatam repeatedly, these type of shlokas come and test whether you know that you are situated properly or not. So, this is something to think about. And the Prabhupada is quoting the Bhagavad Gita, Yanisha Sarva Bhutanam Yasyam Jagrati Samyami. In all these places, Chanakya Pandit has said, Smaranitya Anityatam. Always think about the temporary nature of this world. That means whatever is happening to us is not really real. We are inside a dream. Right? And now science fiction movies also say that you are inside a program. There is a whole brain in a what concept that I can put your brain and wire it up to computers and keep it alive with all the nutrients that it needs and actually run you on the basis of some programs, give you experiences. But of course, they're not answering the question, who is the person? What is he experiencing? That person who is experiencer, observer. But they know something is wrong inside here. And that is the way we are set up. In the material world, it is true that you don't know the reality, and the life that we are living, the sufferings, the enjoyments, all that have got nothing to do with the soul. It is an illusion. It's a wrong feeling because you're only perceiving it through your senses and your body. It is not even real. So what is reality? Because I'm swallowed by the python, it mentions everything and anything that I experience here is not really up to the mark. You don't have to worry about it. So this does not mean that I can do any other nonsense within that. That is why Krishna is telling, for those people who are in illusion, there are rules and regulations and everything. That is called religion. Religion is for guiding people who are in this great python situation, python swallowed situation, to actually come out of it. That process is called religion. That's why it has got some concessions. understanding your illusion and allowing you to indulge a little bit materially, but at the same time asking you to focus spiritually, to get out of the python, to escape the python. The sleep is that forgetfulness that is introduced into you. Krishna bhuliya bhogavancha kare nikatastha maya japatiya dare. Forgetting Krishna, bhogavancha kare, you want to enjoy matter. Nikatastha maya, standing very close to you, maya immediately grabs you. Japatiya dhare. After that, you have lost your reality. You have lost the real. So imagine what it means to be in the real. To be in the real. Right? It must be highly thrilling for the soul. That is what is self-realization. That is what is Atma Tattva. That is what is described in the Bhagavad Gita. Yasva Atmarati Revasyat Atma Triptasya Manava Atma Santushtah. Then in other places, Krishna is explaining that you are full of bliss in that Atma realized state. And that I am spirit soul realized state. That's an extremely happy situation because that's in reality. That's why self-realization leads to mukti, and mukti, that Brahman stage, is described. Brahma bhuta prasannatmana sochati nakangshati samahas sarveshu bhuteshu madbhaktim labate param. That in that ecstatic state of having discovered yourself, which means you've come out of the python and you're free, and you're situated in the understanding that I am spirit soul, Satchitananda, eternity, knowledge, and bliss. That is reality. And that is not enough. From there, you can develop Mad Bhaktim Lavate Param. You can even develop Bhakti. This is an exciting information. And it very much ties up with what scientists, philosophers, and everybody are observing and speculating and thinking that something is wrong. Something is wrong. It is not real. It's that, it is this. Everybody wants to know. But the problem is they want to know without getting connection with Krishna. Therefore, they don't know. Here, Prabhupada is bringing the connection that we have with Krishna, is telling us that you're disconnected with Krishna, who is the ultimate reality. Therefore, you are bitten by the python and you've forgotten everything about yourself and God and everything. So we must first accept this, that I am in a forgetful, illusory situation. My brain, my mind, my senses cannot perceive the reality. It's impossible for me to use my brain and senses to experience the reality. Now, this is an important statement that is being made. And all great philosophers and scientists are also thinking this way. For me, this is a very fascinating point. Arey, whatever you're doing now doesn't matter. It's not true. It's just inside a program, you're dreaming. It's like a dream. The only thing that is reality is your chanting of Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. The only thing of reality is whatever you do as devotional service to Krishna. You dress the deities, you offer the arati, you sing the kirtan, you eat the prasadam, you serve the deity, and concerned with the Lord, you do devotional services, you build a temple. That is directly reality. Everything that we do in connection with Krishna is reality. Otherwise, will not existing in one sense. So that's why this, because it's very casually some story like a Matrix movie or something. It is real. You are inside it right now. Right now, is it real? You must ask yourself. It is real now because we're discussing Bhagavatam. But as you go outside, your mind will take over you. And then it will interpret everything to you, and your life is the interpretation of the mind. Manorathen asati dhavato bahi. Very clearly explained in the Bhagavatam, all these things. Before all these science fiction movies came in, or before these thoughts came in, it is already being dealt with. And in India, people are talking about this from eons. Illusory world, and this is not real, therefore we must get the real. They read Bhagavatam, Vedas, Upanishads, and discuss this all the time. And they know you have been bitten by the python and you are lost in the forest of enjoyment. So just imagine, and very carefully, not just imagine, just think about it. So therefore, what should you do? You should wake up. You should wake up. And for waking up only, Yenechi Aushadhi Maya Nasi Baro Lagi. I have brought for you this holy name. By chanting of this holy name, you'll actually wake up. You'll actually wake up. So isn't this an amazing thing? So I find it very interesting that we are told, and we know this, and every day we read this, but we again and again get back into the illusion. And then we worry, we fight, we have that problem, this problem. Then when we read the Bhagavatam again, we think, oh my gosh, actually I don't have to worry. That is why the Bhagavatam is so sweet. Every time you read it, it gives you great hope. Don't worry, anyway, this is not true. You are not less. And then when you close it, again you slip into illusion. Again you open it. That's why Kirtaniya Sadahari is very important for us. Always chant Hare Krishna. Keep reading the Bhagavatam in between whenever. That's what I am doing now. I don't have specific time. So many things are going on. I keep the Bhagavatam and I keep reading it till the next phone call comes, and it's coming all the time. In between, I'm reading and finding, wow, my gosh, wonderful. So one thing you can always do is to remember Krishna. This is why great devotees are very important, because they are constantly in the reality. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada is a person who has not been swallowed by the python. He's roaming around here and giving his association to everybody from the completely awakened state. He is commenting, to me, all these people are walking dead bodies. They have to be awakened. There's a conversation of him in the Los Angeles airport, I think. To me, all these people are walking dead bodies who need to be awakened. You may be awake, you may be very busy running from your office to this, making money and going to see your father and mother and going here, going, my daughter, I have to take care. I'm very busy, and you think you're very happy, you're very busy. You're busy what? In the dream. What's use of busy in the dream, which is not real? Become busy in the real. So therefore, when we serve Krishna and become busy, that is real. And that may also have challenges, but still it is real. So I find this very fascinating concept, or it is reality actually, that no one is really interested in the real values of life. Prabhupada is saying here, you see. Nobody is interested in the real values, means in the reality they are not interested. The sleeping condition called Kala Sarpa, the time factor, keeps the conditioned soul in a state of ignorance, and therefore pure consciousness is lost. In the forest, there are many blind wells, and if one falls down into one, there is no chance of being rescued. In a state of sleep, one remains perpetually bitten by some animals, especially snakes. So scary. How Prabhupada is explaining it. You'll perpetually be in the sleeping condition. If you do not take shelter of a pure devotee, if you do not take shelter of his instructions, you are actually sleeping and you're lost in the Andhakupam. That's what Prabhupada is saying. It's a very dangerous situation. Padam padam yat vipadam natesham. For the liberated soul to be in this condition, right? It's a temporary condition, of course, but it requires that you work on it and get yourself liberated. That is why the holy name has come inside in Kali Yuga. Simply, nama matrena, your movement of the tongue and the palate alone and your lips move a little bit, you can actually be situated in reality. It will be difficult for some people to have faith in this. But this is what Lord Chaitanya is saying, Jeev jago, Gora Chandra bole, Koto nidra jao mayar, Pishachira kole. That wake up, sleeping soul, wake up. Right? Jeev jago, Kota nidra. How long will you continue to sleep in the lap of Maya? Pishachira kole. Right? The witch Maya, in her lap, how long will you sleep? She's posing to be your mother and making you feel very comfortable. The thing about illusion is you become very comfortable. Materially, I have my place to lie down, sleep, I have my place to work, I've got my money, I've got all my daughters married, and I've got a nice house, and I'm comfortably situated in the sleep. For persons who get entrenched deeper into the sleep, it is very dangerous. Human life is not meant for that. Human life is meant for waking yourself up. Jagrata. You're supposed to wake up. So we are a Jagrat Samaj. We are trying to wake up people, everybody, and mixing together with people and say, remain awakened, don't sleep, and giving them chanting Hare Krishna, reading the Bhagavatam, keeping people awake. Keeping people awake. So this is very important for us to know, to remain awake by chanting Hare Krishna, to remain awake by associating, by reading the Bhagavatam. These are things that we should try to do, and we may not be greatly successful in doing, but we must do. So the Bhagavatam is replete with these type of stories of persons who finally woke up. They actually woke up. So in our, I should say, situation, sometimes we are feeling this. What is described here, we can feel. Because our consciousness goes up and down like this. Sometimes we are in good Krishna consciousness, and other times we're gone, and again, like that, like that. But you can, by your intelligence, understand that this is what is happening to you. That is why you want to be seriously fixed in Krishna consciousness. Of course, starts with the body, the yogi, yukta ahara viharasya, yukta cheshtasya, yukta swapna avabodhasya, yogo bhavati dukkha. That Prabhupada said that enough if you sleep for 6 hours. There are conversations of Prabhupada saying so many things about sleep. I just, before this session came in, I just Googled some, and it's very interesting that Prabhupada is speaking about Napoleon. Napoleon used to sleep for 1 hour, 2 hours. He was such a busy man. So they were so busy in Krishna consciousness, they have no time to sleep. Every great man does not sleep very much. The lazy men aside, Hare Krishna, Jai, some people are saying, Acha, if he does not sleep more, it is a sign of greatness. Right? Like this. To the Western karmis, sleep is a luxury because they have no peace of mind. So anything that can give them sleep, they like, because they don't get to sleep. Of course, we don't sleep much either, but that is by chance. Room conversation with Prabhupada. In this way, you can Google and see. There are many interesting quotations of Prabhupada. Prabhupada, enough sleep. That means you require 24 hours of sleep. Out of that, if you sleep for 10 hours, that is not sufficient. Your business is to sleep only. So 10 hours or 8 hours sleep is not sufficient. Kumbhakarna. Kumbhakarna. Prabhupada saying. And here, Prabhupada, yes, when you become tired, or by intoxication, you sleep deep, This is either this material activity or material dreaming or material deep sleep. They are all material. In spiritual life, oh, there is no sleep. There is no deep sleep or slight sleep or dream, right? In this way, you can get some interesting information. And I ask you to go and sleep. It disturbs me. Too much disturbs me. I tell you frankly, better frankly sleep. Why this place should be, I do not know. What is the reason? You don't have full sleep. And if you don't have sleep, then extend, you make it 8 o'clock, but sleep sufficiently. If 6 hours, 7 hours sleep is not sufficient, sleep 13 hours, 14 hours. Prabhupada's getting angry. Actually, he's telling only 6 hours, but here he's getting angry. You guys are sleeping all the time. In the class, you're sleeping. And in this thing, you're sleeping. So this is some quote of Srila Prabhupada, which I thought is interesting for us. Om Tat Sat. Hare Krishna. Jai Srila Prabhupada ki. Any question or comment? I'm speaking to the point on the shloka. If you have any question or comment, you may either send it on chat or as a message. You may be on YouTube or Facebook or Zoom accordingly. Okay. I presume that you've understood and you don't have any specific questions. Om Tat Sat. Jai Shri Prabhupada ki. Grantaraj Srimad Bhagavatam ki. Nittai Gaura Premanande. Hari Hari Bol. Gaur Hari.